Hey everyone, welcome back to the Breaking Par podcast. I am your host, Ryan Baranski, and I am joined with me today by two very avid golfers. If you haven't heard their names before, you are going to. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Drew Hart, and second, we have Mr. Ryan Rothdeiter joining us. Say what's up, boys.
How we doing, folks?
So, topics of conversation we have today. We have some big news going on in the professional golf world. The President's Cup is upon us this week. For those of you that don't know, the President's Cup is a team event that takes place every 2 years. The Americans face an international team of golfers to see who reigns supreme in the world. So, Ryan, there's been a lot of drama lately between the PGA Tour and this new LIV Tour that's come on the scene in the past couple months here. How do you think that this new tour has influenced what's about to happen this week, which is one of golf's best events?
Honestly, I think that it's going to pretty much just screw everyone over this year. Like, the fact that they've lost, let's look at, the official World Golf Rankings is, I think, 25 in the world on the international squad, and, average, 8 on the U.S. team.
Yeah, it's a big deficit.
Dude, they're screwed. They have no chance in the fact that they lost Joaquin Niemann, Cam Smith.
The number 2 player in the world. Big loss there.
Dude, you look at, 2019? They had all the guys that were on that team. Half of them are on LIV now. All they care about is money, 54-hole tournament, exhibition golf, and it's money at the end of the day. And there's literally no pride. And then you get the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, 3 days of golf, 54 holes, exhibition, no money, and it's all about pride. So it's you look at it and all these guys, it's they're chasing the bag. They don't care about what are you winning, what do you have to your name. There's nothing to back it. It's that's kind of the whole point of the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup is you're playing for your country, you're playing for a team, and you're not just, nobody cares about money this week.
Yeah, that's a great point because that is definitely on a lot of players' minds in the LIV circuit.
Quick counter to that though, so Cam Smith on LIV, I thought pretty much the same thing. There's no pride in LIV, right? But Cam Smith still talking about his family. My dad might be here to see my win. He didn't see my last big win. I have all my family here. So I think there's still there is more pride than it seems in LIV, but
well, I think they're going about things correctly.
I think it might be changing
Dude, they're
from
doing
the
things
initial thought of it's a money grab. Nobody cares about golf anymore. But then eventually they're going to realize that they have to care about golf.
I think if the official World Golf Ranking goes into it, they're going to have some say in it. Obviously the tour's gone up on their money purses. Let's be real, that's largely in part to LIV.
Responding.
Yeah.
They're okay, hey, their purse is $20 million this week. And PGA Tour's hey, well, we're going to do that too. And I think more players are for that, but LIV is, they're missing 2 things.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the only thing, is if they get let's be real, World Golf Rankings. So you see Dustin Johnson, 150th in the world. He's not 150th golfer in the world.
No, he's a top 25
he's
talent.
a top, no matter what, you only get, world ranking points in majors, and you see the guy in 180th in the world gets a T2 finish at the U.S. Open, you're oh, that's not right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the world ranking points here because they are going to have to do something at this point. The field of play is too deep for them not to.
Dude,
you can't.
Good.
Yeah, it is. You can't deny it.
They're not bad anymore. It's
no, you seriously can't deny it. They've honestly kind of put the PGA on their heels here.
Dude, they had Phil.
The largest names that were growing the game since COVID are mostly all on LIV now.
Yeah.
All the guys that were somewhat provocative and
fun to
try-
watch.
Okay, but, like,
fun to watch, and yeah,
like
exactly.
DJ wasn't though. Like I wouldn't put DJ.
No, but
But that's what we're saying. It's kind of transformed now. It was just all these guys that were out trying to, set up their future lives or coming up to retirement here, a little bit older. You got Phil Mickelson, who everybody knows, but let's be real, like he's on the decline of his career. Everybody knows.
I mean, the
who he
last
is.
5 years he's been doing money grabs. But
Yeah, everybody
he's
knows.
50,
who he is.
Okay, how about the guy-
51 years old.
Did you
Right.
guys see the kid that they just grabbed from ASU?
Yeah, they grabbed
David Puig
Puig,
or whatever.
Yeah,
Kid's
Puig.
20 years old and he got a bag for $5 million.
And that's the other thing too. Like now, are they going to be able to make like a farm system for Live? Like, there's a lot of things that could be on the horizon for them. Like the PGA really has to figure out something here. They gotta.
Like, okay,
Figure this out.
say they do grab the next, Colin Morikawa's, the next Matthew Wolf's, which they got.
They did get
they
Matt
got
Wolf. Yeah.
But keep in mind, the PGA Tour, Colin Morikawa was in college in 2018, 2019. He's got 2 majors now and like 5 wins on tour.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew who he was. So it's not like the PGA Tour was like, oh my gosh, they grabbed all these big names.
But he didn't.
Well, I think
he
that
didn't-
also-
he didn't struggle through like Q school or any of like he was a star from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Right,
that's
but, like-
different than.
But like these,
And that also just goes to show the depth of golfers worldwide. Like it's not like 20 years ago when it was just basically Tiger and Phil battling it
Yeah.
out every now
and
and
you have
then.
like 2 or 3 guys who are like Vijay Singh. who are
Yeah,
like, okay,
every
or
now and
Ernie Els,
then
like, oh,
maybe Jim
randomly they
Furyk
pop
would
up.
win a major. Like every now and then maybe Vijay Singh would win something, but for the most part it was a 2-headed race there for a while. And now there's a whole nother tour forming. Like
Yeah.
it's
The
a
only
whole
guy that
nother
would be in
field.
comparison-
So, Drew, this one's for you. How do you think Liv adapts to be able to keep getting these recruits? And maybe not recruits is the best word, but how are they going to keep on, like, getting these kids from college that their whole
So-
lives they've been trying to win U.S. Opens, Masters, all these big tournaments?
So now that they have all these large names and like stars, there's something for them to look up to, and these people that they've been looking up to are now playing on Live. They're not on the tour. And them moving to Live, it's gonna form almost like 2 parties, a tour
Like 2
party
factions,
and a Live
yeah.
party. And the guys that are still following and looking up to the people on Live are probably going to be more drawn towards playing on the Live tour. And the best way
because
they
of those
draw,
guys now.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the best way they draw
Like, what
more.
about 10 years, like 5 years from now?
The
Phil-
best way they
Phil's
draw
gone.
more names is they keep it growing and keep showing that it's gonna continue to get better and better.
But how do you get those guys to, like, okay, Phil, DJ, Pat Perez, like, Paul Casey, Ian Poulter, all these guys who are edge of their career. Granted, they took the money and went with it, but they're gone. Like, let's be real, they're kind of done here in 5 to 8 years.
But
If-
I don't think.
But if Liv
I
is still
think
around,
they've already made the impact in the fact that they've got this tour off the ground because
but
now
how do you
keep-
get those younger guys who they're signing that are, the David Puigs and Matthew Wolfs, like? How do you measure how good they are? Like,
They don't
their
target.
how much money their career, like,
Well,
I guess, career earnings?
that's also why they are pushing for official world golf points now so much.
If
because they're gonna get locked out of the rest of the world essentially.
which I
if
think,
they
like,
don't.
you kind of got to be, like, as a fan of golf, hey, it's entertaining to watch. Like, they have good ideas as much as I pro PGA Tour guy. Like,
I
it's-
think all of us are in that boat. It's
But
just something that's
it's
kind of
one of those
forcing
things-
the
it's
tour's
like-
hand a little bit to kind of respect their players a little bit more. As
Which they
kind of
should,
backwards
like-
as it is, yes, they should. But as backwards as it is, all these people are leaving, and now all of a sudden the PGA is treating their membership twice as good as they've
they're like,
been
oh,
getting
randomly,
treated.
they're like the
Yeah.
rookies this year. It's like, oh, hey, randomly, we got $500,000 for 30 rookies on the tour, where it's like, oh, that wasn't ever there for 60 or 80 years the tour's been around. It's like, all of a sudden now it's, oh, hey, if you don't make $500,000, the tour's going to get you. They're shelling out like $15 million for these guys,
Yeah.
if not more. Just randomly, it's like, I don't think that's just a matter of oh, we got this money, we're going to help you guys out. It's a, hey, Liv kind of forces our hand into this.
Yeah. One more question for the both of you. Who takes home the Ryder Cup? Or not the Ryder Cup. Who takes home the President Cup this week?
Roth, you first.
Dude, I got US 12 plus 12.5.
U.S. plus 12.5.
They're going to close it on Saturday.
Ooh,
Dude,
bold
they got no
prediction.
chance. They got no chance.
Okay, Drew. Your
US
thoughts?
100%.
U.S. 100%. I myself have USA taking home the hardware by a margin of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Breaking Par podcast. Join us next week where we will talk about how to improve your swings.